Thank you for joining me for Motivational Monday. Today I want to talk about the environment that we work in as an instructor and as a manager, or the environment that we create as a manager for our instructors. First of all, I want to define this Motivational Monday as creating a positive growth environment. And so as an instructor, if you can identify, do I currently work in a positive growth environment? And as a manager, am I constantly creating a positive growth environment? What I'd like you to identify that makes a positive growth environment as an instructor is your department creating a growth environment, first of all. What I consider a growth environment is providing instructors with the option of doing continuing education, and that could potentially be hosting continuing education as a club or as a director, or it can be as an instructor going out and making sure that they are getting their CECs consistently. As a manager, along with the possibility of providing CECs as an instructor or manager, going out to conferences and potentially giving instructors reimbursement money for the ability to go out and do continuing education. So I know that I am involved in a very great facility with a positive growth environment because we provide our instructors with continuing education opportunities all the time. Along with the continuing education, does your club provide team events, or at least make the effort of trying to make the team come together and meet each other? I think this is important in growing as a team, because the team can get to know each other and support each other as instructors. And it just feels so good to be around people who are passionate about what you do and who understand the pains and the rewards of being an instructor. There are some things that aren't the best, and there's some things that are amazing about doing the job. So it's nice to be a part of that inclusive environment, and we all work together and know each other. So I think that's an important growth kind of tactic as an instructor and as a department, along with annual reviews are something that I think is important for managers to do, as well as instructors on their own for themselves. So this part of this video is meant to ask instructors to create a growth environment, as well as encourage managers to help create a growth environment. So along with reviewing what you've done the past year annually, I also encourage managers and instructors to do it on a daily basis. Talk to themselves about what went really well in the class and what didn't go so well in a class. Or for a manager who can have the ability to go to classes constantly, to talk to the instructors after the class and give them feedback after the class is over, and go over, of course, some of the great things that they did, constructive feedback that they have for them, and then thank them for being such great instructors. I think it's important for that to happen on kind of a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis as a manager. And if not possible, then it needs to be at least on an annual basis with instructors. So that growth focus is important. And then second thing I want to talk about as far as a growth environment, a positive growth environment, is the facility focused? So is the department focused on its overall goal to support its members? And I think the most amazing part about the club that I work for is not only are we provided clear expectations as an instructor, as from what to wear, to what to say, to how to say it, to how to teach our classes, but we're also given the freedom with our education and our knowledge to create an amazing class on our own. We don't have a lot of branded classes. We brand our own classes, and I take pride in that as a facility. So I think that's an important part of being focused. It's a very clear expectation set for the instructor. However, they have the freedom to do what they would like to do in their class that fits their personality, fits how they teach the best. I also think it's important to have constant reminders of these things. So in order to show how focused a company is, there needs to be constant reminders of, this is, again, what we're doing. This is, again, our goal as a department. Constantly reminding the team, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're trying to do. Forward thinking needs to be part of a positive growth environment. Forward thinking, in my definition, is very clear goals as a department. That's something I'm working on with my team, is being better about communicating what my journey as a manager is and what I'm considering is important to our department now and what's important to this department's future. I want to share that with our team at our next group fitness meeting. We have an annual group fitness meeting, and I'm going to plan kind of a nice presentation and a speech to my team of what our goals are for the upcoming years. I think that's important to share that with the team and to also encourage instructors to understand what are your goals as a manager when they start teaching a class. What are they going to be assessed on to show their success? I don't necessarily feel I would agree with someone who only tracks numbers when it comes to the success of an instructor. Definitely members vote with their feet when it comes to attending classes. However, it's not fair to expect a 6 a.m. instructor, depending on the club. Our early morning classes have never been very busy. It's not fair for an instructor beyond like a 5:30 a.m. class for a certain format that has never had a ton of people to grow the class to be an immensely crazy, enormous class. I think it's important to watch and to encourage and help the instructor as much as you can, but it's not fair for the instructor also that's at 1 p.m. some stretch or like amazing, we call our 1 p.m. classes amazing abs. It's not fair to expect that instructor to have 50 people in their class when it's a very hard time of the day to obtain tons of clients. So I think it's important to show the goals, but also have very, very fair goals as a manager. And then always continuing to rebrand the department and redefine what the department's all about, finding what's out there, going to conferences, seeing what other equipment is out there, being ahead of the game, and not necessarily following a bunch of different clubs that don't necessarily have the same avatar or client as you, looking for rebranding and creating a great experience, but for your current members and people, and maybe even reaching into the industry and finding more clients, but not necessarily being a follower all the time. The last part of this positive growth environment is, of course, the positive side of things. So encouraging that your growth environment is positive. So as a manager, we have to be consistently positive no matter what kind of day we're having or what kind of week we're having or how the department's doing that month. It has to be important to have a positive manager. So if you're an instructor and you don't have a positive manager, I think you need to get out of there as soon as possible. And if you're not positive as a manager and you can think back to the last time that you were just negative about your day or about your life to the instructor, then it need to back up and reassess what you do, and it should be something you love. I think also positive coworkers. I will not hire someone anymore, but I've learned too many times, you cannot teach anyone to be a happy, nice person. I will not hire anyone even if I have one little red flag that they would not be nice to my team. They cannot be part of my team if they're not going to be nice, if they're not going to be happy. If it's like pulling teeth to make them smile and be happy, then they're not going to be a part of my team. So positive coworkers, positive management, positive leadership, and then finally, are the instructors and the members encouraged to be positive? Is there an encouraged positive outlook on life and just the world in general? I think that's an important part of a culture, to be positive and smiling and happy, and not forced, but definitely encouraged to be a part of the culture. So again, positive growth environment is, of course, growth, a focused environment. Is it forward thinking? Is it growing? Is it developing? Is it changing? And then finally, is it positive 100% of the time? So I hope you enjoyed this. It's kind of a long video, but those are important aspects of a positive growth environment. And I hope you're already a part of one. And if you're not, definitely try to jump into one.